All right, welcome everybody back to Life with the Sloans, Black History Part 3.
Part three, last and final episode of Black History Month. I think we should continue this. We should do like
Yeah,
another
we might
another
still
couple,
continue it, even though
even though
it's
February's
just
over.
yeah, we will. I mean, we won't do it every episode, but we'll definitely be talking about it throughout the year because Black History is every day. There is no history without Black History.
That's right.
You know? Did
That's
you put
right.
Do Not Disturb on?
No, I just turned the volume off.
Okay, we're gonna do that. Hi, everybody.
We're gonna put on Do Not Disturb.
All right. Yeah, because we don't want nobody trying to call us during this live. That would be really bad. All right, Alfred, so I'll let you start while I'm doing that. Go ahead.
We're gonna start with Sharon first, or we going? I'm going to pick my
Whatever you want
characters.
to. Go ahead.
All right. Well, as many of you know, Black Wall Street is definitely one of the bigger parts of our family's life. We talk about it pretty often and read quite a bit about it. And so I will show I'm repping my Black Wall Street Legacy 2021. So the upcoming 100-year anniversary of Black Wall Street is May the 31st through June the 1st. And there will be events that are going before and after that.
Yes.
So the characters I chose to kind of close out Black History Month was fitting because it was Black. One of the founders of Black Wall Street. Actually, I have two people in Black Wall Street. The first one is O.W. Gurley. For those who don't know, I'd highly recommend looking him up. He's one of the founders. Actually, he's the founder of Black Wall Street. He was the person that had the vision, along with a gentleman by the name of J.B. Stratford and a few others that had the vision for that particular district and city. So he's very, very close, near and dear to our hearts as far as the legacy that he was able to instill.
Okay.
You got some people? Go ahead.
I'm going to start with one person right now. So this is a person I did not know about. And this is actually a person I learned about in my child's book. I don't know if you know about these children's books. I actually have a link where you can buy these from if you want to buy some for your children. And if you were paying attention to the guest I had last week from Harriet's Bookshop, Janine Cook, this is my link right here, bookshop.org. I said it right. Bookshop.org/shop/Johnny Official. And you go there and you'll see the book, actually, one of the books that he has right now, and this other book that's called Little Leaders, and several other books that you can find for kids that have to do with Black history. So I'll just let that scroll. In the meanwhile, the person that I chose today was Julie Dash. And the reason I chose her, she was born in 1952 and she has made contributions towards film. So the reason I chose her is because I have actually stirred up a passion for producing. Not just music, but also producing movies and things like that. So, and shows and anything that has to do with making film.
Audio and video content.
Yeah, so this kind of stuck out to me specifically about her because during her time, there were not people who were doing that, who were African American. So she's made way.
Yeah, she's so Julie, I'll speak a little bit about her because
Okay,
I know a little bit. She was a pioneer in several areas of filmmaking. So without taking away from that, I definitely recommend you guys looking into her history if you've never heard of her and learning a little bit more about her as an individual and her contributions to film and to modern day film. So I have my second person, which is A.C. Jackson. A.C. Jackson was the leading doctor, not just in Black Wall Street, but also in America. He was said to have the best hands and skill set of any Negro surgeon that they've ever seen. And that is something that was coined after him. He was actually killed during the Tulsa Race Massacre, and he was shot dead in front of his establishment after being pulled out by the mob. But his contributions that he had before that, even the brothers that founded the Mayo Clinic, the Mayo brothers, they referenced his contribution and how skilled he was, and it just amazed them.
All right, so the next person I'm going to choose, and this is because my dad always calls me her, because he says I'm very outspoken and I'm very like power to the people.
I already know who this is.
Angela Davis.
I already know who this is.
Matter of fact, one time I took my curls and tried to make a fro out of it. So yeah, anyway. So yeah, I guess I was Angela Davis singing it that day. So the reason why she's awesome is because she was an activist, she was a scholar, and also she actually ended up joining the Black Panthers.
She did more than join.
Okay, go ahead, talk about what she did.
No, go ahead. You on?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Since you know
Go
a little
ahead.
more, go ahead.
No. Angela.
I don't know what you know. Go ahead.
Angela Davis was one of the prolific speakers and or advocates and movers of the Black Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
There were several women that had very, very influential roles in the Black Panthers, including I think it was Eldridge Cleaver's wife. It was either her or Angela Davis. I can't remember, but one of them were the first to join the upper ranks of the Black Panther Party for self-defense. So,
this is what I thought you would have said. She was put on the FBI most wanted list, and I thought
there was a lot of them.
I'm just saying, I thought that you would have mentioned. I thought you would have mentioned that about her because you like to be putting that out there. So, yeah, anyways, all right, your turn.
There's a lot of people from the Black Panthers that were put on.
I know, but she's one of the most prominent ones
under J. Edgar Hoover's administration, right. And COINTELPRO, which if you don't know anything about that, definitely look into that. There's so much that can be said about COINTELPRO.
All right, your turn.
So, of course, I'm going to...
And this is his last one, by the way, and then I have one more.
I'm going to end the month. And for those who have followed me on social media, I recently posted about a few people. And I'm going to pick one because this person was recently featured in film. And I think his role in history, it's not Fred Hampton. No.
Okay.
His role in history...
Is it Prince Hakeem from Coming to America?
It is not Prince Hakeem. It's
that's
actually
historical. Go ahead.
It is very historical. That's actually
very historical.
That's our favorite movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was my favorite movie before it was an R, but I'll let you have it. It's Hispan's Hour.
Just a Man I Met in the Restroom.
Pretty Woman too. I know you like that one.
Oh my gosh, no! Get out!
That's all right. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed.
No, I fall asleep on that movie every time she watches it. But the last person that I wanted to reference for Black History Month was William O'Neill. William O'Neill was the character that Lakeith Stanfield played in Judas and the Black Messiah.
Right. And I was watching this interview and Charlemagne was shading him.
He was, but he came.
Not the historical color.
Yeah,
person. But
Lakeith, he came back.
He's been decent in a lot of the movies I've seen. To me,
every movie that I've seen that he's been in,
he's been decent. It's been similar roles.
Well, I'm sorry to bother you. Was not a similar role. That was nowhere near action.
No, that was crazy. That movie. That's crazy. Don't even watch that movie. Don't even watch that.
She digressing.
Let's go ahead.
But William O'Neill, and the reason why I wanted to kind of think about or to bring reference to William O'Neill is just because he is one of the people that the situations that he found himself in is something that a lot of young African American males face when it comes to the justice system. There's many situations where you hear about people being wrongly convicted, or being told of other things that have happened in law enforcement, really strong arming them in one way, shape, or form.
This is a damn shame, right?
I'm not going to say that he was strong armed. I don't think that was the case, but I think the type of time that he was looking at for what he did is something that many African American males who have faced law enforcement have been thrown at.
So you're saying because you get some time, you can snitch?
No, what I'm saying is that I
think that's not the rule.
The weight,
Alfred, that's not how it goes.
The weight that is thrown.
Stitch.
The weight.
When you snitch.
The weight that is thrown on inner city males is very different. You can see by many of the videos that are out there that it's a very different dichotomy when it concerns people of other races. I'm not highlighting any particular
No, other races know this too. They might not say it, but they know.
I mean, there's a gentleman here in Philadelphia that, I mean, he's been locked up since he was, I think, 15 or 14 years old. He's the longest person in Pennsylvania history to be locked up, and it was for something really minor. And he's like 84 or 85 right now. I forget his name. But I think he just got free. And
how about when Fred Hampton got locked up for ice cream?
Oh,
that was crazy.
Listen,
I'm sorry, but y'all can't see that.
If you think that was crazy, you should look at some of the other stuff. If you want to,
what people getting locked up for?
All of the files on the Black Panthers are out there.
No, what are people getting locked up for? What little menial things they locking people up for? Huge.
You want to go locked up or getting killed for?
Sentence. Locked up. What's there to locked up thing?
I mean, we can talk about Eddie Murphy for taxes. I mean, not Eddie Murphy. Wesley Snipes for taxes. Yeah, Donald Trump's.
Wasn't Martha? What's her name? Homemaker person.
Martha Stewart.
Is that her name? Whatever. Wasn't she locked up for that too?
Yeah, but she's not Black.
Yeah, but how long was she locked up for?
I mean, it's basically house arrest. It doesn't matter.
Okay, but how long was she locked up for?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to Martha.
Was it the same amount as Wesley Snipes?
I mean, Wesley Snipes played the country, so he kind of had some different situations going on.
Is he still out the country?
No, he came back.
And then what happened after that?
Anyway, she digressing. The point of the matter is, there's a lot of and this is part
everybody
of
want to know too. They like, oh,
this is part of the reform that needs to be done nationally and to make sure that many of these crimes and punishments actually fit each other, because in many cases with certain minority groups, the crime does not necessarily fit the punishment. Yeah. So.
All right. So my that was your last person. Yes. So my last person will be a person that actually my daughter told me about, that I learned about long ago, but she refreshed my memory. Wilma Rudolph.
What'd you learn about Wilma?
One that she had braces on her leg until about 12, and then she had took off and started sprinting.
Why? Why did she have braces on her legs?
She had some kind of what was it? Some kind of disease or something? I don't remember what it was called.
Polio.
That's right. How could I forget that?
I don't know.
Polio. I didn't help her with it. I can't remember. All right. Yeah. So she had polio. Polio of the legs. No, that's not. That's probably not what it's called.
It affects.
It affected her legs. Yeah, it affected her legs.
And nerves.
Anyways,
what else?
So we actually have family that ran with her, which was decent too.
Facts.
Rest in peace, Leroy. Not for the movie. So yeah, he ran with her and on
the same track team.
Right.
Tennessee.
And she won, I think it was 3 gold medals in one game or something like that she won. The first person to do that. So yeah, she's decent.
Tennessee State University. Shout out. Go Tiger Bells.
Yes, Tennessee State. Yeah.
Actually, the Tigers now. They used to be called the Tiger Bells. Yeah. Shout out Ed Temple, the winningest coach in history down there.
Yep. So I guess the thing that I'll ask you today, those who are watching, is what are you doing to contribute to Black history? One of the things that my daughter said, and we got this from another person, Hannibal B. Johnson, and he made a statement when I had him as a guest on the show, and he said there is no history without Black history.
That's right.
And so what I asked you today is, what are you doing to change the course of history and impact it
positively
in a positive way?
Positively. Yeah.
Or are you just living, doing nothing? I don't know.
There's a quote.
Think about it. What should your part be? It might not be everybody else's. It might not be everything that everybody else is doing. It could be something different. Yeah. We had a whole conversation. What was it? I can't remember. It was part 1 of Black History or part 2. We were talking about, protesting and all these things or whatever.
Part 2.
But you made a good point, Alfred. You said one of the ways to really help to affect history is to change laws.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to encourage those who are out there who are, maybe you're going to school for that or whatever you're doing.
In position to be able to change.
Yeah, you're in position to be able to change.
Legally.
Make sure that you do it for the positive.
Yep.
Because there are people who are locked up wrongfully and people who are getting killed every day.
Oh, shout out to the Innocence Project and Equal Justice Initiative. Those are groups that actually work to free people that were wrongfully convicted and get them exonerated.
Right, without charge, right?
Yeah, like the Brian Banks story is one example of that. There's a couple other foundations and things like that really focus on getting people free that were wrongfully convicted, whether it's DNA evidence or something just didn't line up in their case and somehow they magically got convicted.
And I don't know what that feels like because I've never been locked up, but what I've seen
there's other countries
from people who have been locked up wrongfully too is that the prison, the system or whatever creates a mindset to even when they do get out, it's hard for them to function because they've been in this system. It's no different than if you haven't been raised in prison. If you was raised in whatever system that you were raised in, you're used to that. You know what I'm saying? So it's trauma.
I want to make this clear. And I think this is something she's trying.
And I don't know about it personally because I've never been in prison. But.
So what it is that no one is born a slave.
No one is.
I don't care what history tells you, what books you read. No one is born a slave.
They could be born into slavery.
Anyone can be born
into.
Everyone's born free.
Yeah, everyone's
but you
born
can
free.
Be enslaved, and that's regardless of your race, your religion, your sex, your gender. Your gender, your background, your religious belief system. Anyone can be enslaved. So the prison system, for all intents and purposes, is one form of
slavery,
servitude. Involuntary servitude at this point. And many of the people in the penal system, if you go back and you look at like the early foundations of most of the jails, especially in the US, you'll find that the system was very different from England. England, basically, because it's a small country, it's an island. Really, what they did was they try to minimize a lot of the prison sentences, and for those that were really, really bad civilians and became incarcerated, they would actually send them to Australia.
And really, the thing to me of what prison should be or should have been was hopefully a way to help someone
reform.
Reform. Yeah. When they get out of prison, they can't vote, they can't do anything. Like, I don't even get the point. I really don't. So it really just needs to change.
There's so many different people.
That could be anybody's family.
Matter of fact, in this book, this is Little Legends. This is the men's version, and she has the women's version here.
You can go to you can go to the link below and get those for your kids. So they're good ways to.
One thing that many of these people in both of these books have in common is that they had a prison record because they stood up for something, and they were arrested in one way, shape, or form.
And you start making noise, right?
So they lost their ability, and well, some of them didn't because they weren't felonies or wasn't felony that they were provided. But in that particular instance, you can lose your ability to vote, which means that your impact for the future and the trajectory of this country is impacted.
It affects your family.
It affects your family.
I remember, I'm not gonna say the person's name is personal, but this one person whose son went to jail, and I remember she said, "We're locked up."
Yes.
Well, the thing is, she wasn't locked up. She's actually not locked up. It was her son who was locked up. But she felt as if she was locked up because she felt your children are PC. You get 23 the chromosomes, half from mom, half from dad. So they felt it too. They didn't feel it the way he felt it, but they felt it. So it affects the structure of the family.
In prison,
when these things happen,
prison goes beyond that too, because you got to look at all the other parents that have lost their children to, misconduct and or violence. I mean, regardless of how you may feel about the situation, whether the person deserved it or not, no one deserves to die. And so when that family member is taken prematurely, then there's a void left. And then there is just kind of like that, when somebody dies in your family and you're grieving and you're like, you pick up the phone and you just want to hear their voice, or if they left you a voicemail. For 3 years, I had both my grandparents on my voicemail. I saved their very last messages just so I could hear their voice, and it was nothing I shared.
You still have it?
No, because we switched services. When we switched service, they ended up, and I didn't realize that that's how it actually got taken. But, you
got video.
I do have video. I was blessed. Oh, that's another thing for ending Black History Month. If you have a matriarch or patriarch in your family, or somebody that knows the family tree and is very, very focused on the history of your family, make sure you take some time, whether it's via cell phone or via an actual video camera, and record them.
Put the video in horizontal view. Okay.
Yeah, long view, landscape.
So you can get good.
And ask them, write down 5 or 10 questions that you want to know specifically, and encourage other family members to ask them, and just do interviews with them. I was blessed that I was able to do those within about a year before both of my grandparents passed. I wish I would have been able to do it for my dad's mom before she died, but I was so young, I never thought about it. And it was something that, that I definitely cherish, and we hold on to those things.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be shy. I don't want to do pictures. I don't want to do video. I don't want to whatever. Put your personal feelings aside. Yep. You got to create legacy, because you have to hand these down to your children's and your children's children, so that they're able to hear the stories. They're able to know this. If not, they're going to be learning history. What is that? His story, not yours.
And his is depending on who the person is.
Depending on who his is, could be a whole bunch of lies. So you don't know. All right. Well, thanks for joining us again today on Life with the Sloans. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Yeah. So much content that's here. And leave in the comment section below other things that you would love to hear about, so that we can, talk about those things as well. And thanks to everybody on Instagram as well for following us. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, you can just go to Shawnee Talks Lifestyle, which I will show you really quick. But everybody else, talk to you soon.
Encourage your children, your family members, to definitely get involved with Black history, not just during Black History Month as is designated, but also throughout the year. Learn about individuals that had a positive contribution, that had a contribution in one way, shape, or form
Yeah,
and encourage your family to do so.
definitely. All right. Well, we'll see you next time. Bye.